Welcome back to Dad's a Gamer. I'm your host, Saint Oak. Joining with me in the two usual suspects, we got Dr. Joe and Rico Bambino. So today we're going to talk about that hard-hitting news from Microsoft. Phil Spencer retiring, Sarah Bond stepping down. We got some hard news for you. If y'all like the show, please like, share, and subscribe because we got some hot take coming for you. All right, let's get into it, boys.
Well, what's up? What's up, my guys? Yeah.
What we thinking? I know y'all saw that news.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, before we get into all that Xbox stuff, right? Yeah, I got some news for all our fans. You know, it looks like Dads and Gamer's going to have another little gamer. You feel what I'm saying, Saint Oak? I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't trust this man to pull out my driveway. And man, guess what? And guess what happened? He didn't pull out somebody's driveway. So... And to be clear, somebody is his wife. You know, shout out to Carrie. You know what I'm saying? His wife. Man, shout out to you, Steve. I'm going to tell you don't had enough kids for us, bro. Now you got a football team. He got a whole football team. He got a start lineup, Rick. You know what I'm saying?
He about to be shy of a starting five, ain't it?
Hey, look, man, just want to let y'all know, man, you know, Dad's Gamer might be taking a little hiatus from him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I already told Carol, well, I'm still in this thing. I need my one dedicated day, so she know.
Yeah. You know, Steve, man, you're a great father, man.
Yes, you are, brother.
You know, Rick, you're a great father. I'm happy to I just want to tell y'all, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I do. I love y'all. And Steve, I wish you nothing but the best, man. Y'all are awesome dads, bro. So just
hey, likewise,
y'all.
I learned a lot from you, brother.
I appreciate it. All right, man. So let's get into this Xbox news, Steve. What I tell y'all? Boy, what I tell y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to listen to me, bro. Y'all don't nobody believe.
I don't know, Joe. I don't recall you telling me that this man's going to retire.
I told y'all she was not going to be there long. And I said...
You did say that. I remember that.
And I said specifically because of the direction that she's going in. I've been looking at all the comments. People have been commenting on her because especially last week, remember we talked about the Xbox, right? Now, Rick, we brought that up a few weeks ago, talking about the Xbox price and where they were trying to go with the pricing. All the comments that I've read, bro, people are upset about the pricing of that new Xbox console. So I know they mad with me about my hot take on the Xbox S. Just FYI, I know they about it because, you know, one dude put up there, and again, I'm just going to label it like this. He was like, man, good riddance because ain't nobody paying $1,500 for no Xbox. And my challenge back to this is, oh, yes, they are. Yes, they will. Absolutely. I'm telling you, because I'm going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But let's get into it, man. I think, you know, Sarah Bond, this is what I want to say. I'm a hard critic when it comes to anything because I'm a hard critic on myself. I think Sarah Bond is a visionary. So let me be clear when I say that first. She's a visionary. I think she's done well in her space. You know, Sarah Bond, we salute you. You know, good endeavors on your next venture of what you're going to do. But Asha Sharma, Asha Sharma, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, you know, she was hired back in 2024 in the Microsoft AI division, Rick. And they brought her on. She's going to be actually stepping into that stead for Phil Spencer, just FYI. So I'm excited. I think her background speaks for itself. I think she knows what the base is looking for in the Xbox world, in the gaming division. So I'm interested to see where she's. I think so. I think she's going to be the visionary. I think she's going to be the one to really drive this home. And again, I could be wrong, but most of the time I'm right. Just FYI, and I know that pissed a lot of people off. But
okay, well,
you know what I'm saying.
Before I thought you ready to get your, 2 cents on, I'm just gonna say, she does not have a gaming background now, and she's only spent. And this ain't no critique on her, but she's only spent at the most 4 years at every job she's been in. Now, granted, it's always been to bring her on to bring to get revenue up, right? So I get that because Xbox is
innovation, creativity.
Right,
keep coming with it.
Yeah. But she did say one thing I did like, where she said she was responding to somebody. Well, no, it was in her statement, but she said she didn't want to have AI slop a part of Xbox. Okay. However, that differs from where Microsoft, not Xbox, but Microsoft, Microsoft owns Xbox. That differs from what Microsoft wants, because they're pushing heavy into AI.
They are.
I'm just gonna let that sit there. But Rick, I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, Steve, the comment about not being somewhere for 4 years plus, I can say that about myself. I haven't been at a job longer than 4 years plus, and I think that I'm doing fairly well for myself.
Shout out, Rick. That's what I'm talking about. You fire back at him, Rick. Things, you talk that talk to him.
I felt like that was a shot, but I know that you didn't know that about,
No, I didn't know that about you.
But I was just letting you know.
Man, I'm thinking something
Rick,
about
you. You got that 4 for 4 deal, baby. You got that 4 for 4, baby. Tell him about it.
So, another thing is with the gaming price, Joe. I'm gonna pick up where you left off about the prices of the Xboxes, right? Have you ever, let's just say, looked at something online that you really wanted to buy? It didn't have to be a game. It could have been anything for your household or for your vehicle or something like that. And you that's way too cheap to be good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that people are going to spend that money because they're like, it's got to be worth it, or it better be worth it when I get it. And I think that that's going to drive a lot of people to get it and want to save the money up to buy it. So pushing that price, I'm definitely going to be buying it. It was even the same way when I was looking at monitors. I wasn't going for no cheap monitor because I know I was going to get what I paid for. Basically, you're going to get what you're paying for with this video game Xbox PC, so to say. But Steve, to piggyback off of what you said as well, for her not having any kind of gaming background bothers me a little bit. It does worry me. And if she's trying to take a different direction than what Microsoft, the owner of Xbox, is trying to do, then I don't see that being a good outcome either. But Joe, and what you said a couple of weeks ago, you said Xbox need to do something. We need a refresher on something for people to want to continue to play it, buy it, have good comments and things about the system itself. So maybe we need a different outlook. So, I mean, I'm with it, man. It's now only time is going to tell where Xbox is going, but I'm definitely copping it if it's any similar to PC.
Okay. Joe, well, let me preface this question, and this is for both of y'all. So with Sharma's, well, actually, we really don't know what her vision is for Xbox, right? So I'm just from the statements that she's put out, and then also I don't know if y'all saw yesterday, somebody had tweeted at her and saying bring back exclusives to Xbox, and she replied, "Heard." So, in your opinion, I guess we can start with Joe. What are you assuming that with her limited gaming experience, what are you thinking her core vision for this new shift is for Xbox? Do you think it's going to go back to traditional gaming, or pivot towards AI driven things, even though she said she don't want to do AI slop? What are you thinking that's going to come from it?
She's looking to I think, and again, I don't know her personally, right? So I'm just going to give my opinion. I think with her, she is going to bring a different spin on innovation and creativity. I think futuristically, she's going to be thinking about where Microsoft can be 10 years from now. That's going to be her vision. And in case in point, they would not have made this drastic change if they didn't believe she could take Xbox to where they needed to go. Because and I'm going to tell you why. This was a case in point. Rick brought it up. I said they have to make a decision. And I said it's a CEO decision. So look what happens. Sarah Bond steps down. because I think she recognizes she's not the right person to take Xbox where they need to go. So with Asha, there's what they pretty much told us is she's the right person to take us where we need to go in the gaming division. Now, I want to be clear when I say this. Spencer, like retiring, right? When you're on the verge of retirement, man, you're not going as hard as you would want to go in your job. You know what I mean? You're just kind of passing by. And I'm not saying he was cheating us. You know, he's retiring. I mean, you know, you've done this for so long. It's time to step down and let new blood come in. So to your question, Steve, I think she's going to come in. I think she's going to be the visionary. I think she's going to hear, because where she's done very well to bring in revenue everywhere that she's worked, she listens first, which you're going to have to do. And then she will develop a plan, and then she's going to execute it. Now, what that looks like to our base, some people will get it, some people are not. Because most people aren't visionaries. They live in the moment. People that are visionaries are the ones that push where we're trying to go. And they've got the, and it's like what I told y'all a couple weeks ago. We want to tell you what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because most people don't know what they really want until they see it. Like, prime example, you walk into Foot Locker and you see a pair of Jordans, right? That you've never seen before, but they're not really that dope. But then you take them off, you try them on, you look at yourself in the mirror, and they actually happen to match the fit that you have on. And then you're like, yo, they're fresh. So for me, that's kind of how I think Asha is. She, or Asha, and again, if I'm messing her name up, I apologize. But she's going to be the person that takes on this role, and she's going to see how this fits, but also how it fits 10 years from now. That's my honest take.
I got you. Well, before you go, I'm just going to add this one little caveat again. Yes, Phil Spencer is retiring. However, there was a little nugget maybe a year ago saying that he wanted to retire once the new Xbox PC came out. That's still like a year and a half away.
Next year. Yeah, it's next year.
So did he retire, or was he like told like you're going to retire, and then he just saves face by doing it this way? I don't know.
He was told he's going to retire. The board done, I can tell y'all, working in the corporate office in the C-suite, he was told to go home. I'm gonna tell you that. I know how those conversations go in the background. Trust me. Because I have those conversations. I'm telling you.
That's pretty.
Yeah, and they're not pretty.
Okay, well, Rick, well, you and I, we ain't in the, well, I don't think you were. You and I ain't been in the C-suites, but we have been. I know you've had a manager job. My current position is manager. So like from that hat that you had, what are you seeing from this?
I mean, I'm agreeing with everything that Joe was saying, pretty much. Like I said, we're just gonna have to see where this thing goes. I do think that we need a new outlook and somebody that is gonna listen, because the CEOs, I don't think, are the ones that's developing these games, but they are the ones that have the ears and could push for something to happen. So you still got the same people there, I'm in belief, that has been making these video games for as long as we've been having them. Or they might have new people coming in, we just don't know, and older people going out. But we do need a different outlook on it, and I think they do need to bring back Xbox exclusive games and not selling them off to other consoles just because they want to make bank. You know, why would I buy an Xbox when I can buy a PlayStation 5
and play
that has all of the Xbox games and PlayStation 5 exclusives?
Mm-hmm.
So exclusives definitely need to come back, and I think that the Xbox PC is going to dominate the gaming sector because it is so close to PC. You know, when you can tie both of those two in, there's a lot of people that's going towards playing just nothing but PC games. I got friends that was playing Xbox and now they're just strictly PC games just because of how it is. I also bought a gaming PC to start getting into that sector, and I have been. But I do think that we need that fresh outlook with somebody else that can push revenue, that listens, And if she's made better revenue in the past with the rest of her jobs, and then she'll leave and go and do something else, I feel like that she'll be the one that is going to listen to us, as gamers, and what needs to be done for us to have a great gaming, experience.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm glad you went into that part, 'cause that leads me to my last question then. So with Sarah Bond leaving, basically being told you're going to leave or whatnot, she was a big proponent for the whole term, this is an Xbox, like every screen is an Xbox, and also pushing games to other platforms. So since she's not there anymore, are y'all thinking that they're going to want to move back to traditional hardware, wanting to make sure that people want to have an Xbox, or is it just more creating great software that they can just disperse everywhere? Like, what are we thinking?
I think it's going to be driven there eventually, but it's probably a decade or two away, But when they come out with that Xbox PC, I think that that's just going to be exclusive. Have just nothing but exclusive games, just like how the regular Xbox started with Halo. Everybody wanted the Xbox because of Halo. I know I did. I think Xbox PC is going to start off like that, and then eventually they're going to push their games out to other platforms. But I don't think it's going to happen early on.
Yeah. All right, what about you, Joe?
I think that now is the time to go back to exclusive games on the Xbox. And to Rick's point, Steve, when you roll out that new Xbox, that hybrid model, you need to have exclusive games only. Because what hurt, and I think from a marketing perspective and revenue and sales, right? Xbox tried to recoup the money that they lost from not selling units. But because they didn't sell those units, they had to go back and say, okay, we're going to release these Xbox exclusive titles on other platforms because people will purchase them. That's a $59, $69 game. That's not going to recoup a unit sale, which is $4.99 or $2.99 for the Xbox S. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's why they made it cheaper. I think you do two things at once. I think you get rid of the Xbox S, just stop the production of that. You bring out this new system, and then maybe you upgrade the Xbox X. Maybe you upgrade it. You put some new hardware in there, you upgrade it, right? So now you have a tier. You have this version, right? But then you have, if you want the Cadillac, you know what I mean? Then you go over here and you buy this version of the game, of the system. Because at some point you got to focus on quality. You got to stop pissing off these developers. But I will also say this, depending on what kind of hardware that system has, and I think you and I both know where I'm going with this, I think it would behoove them to think very carefully about unit sales.
All right. Well, before we close this out, just from a macro perspective, what are each of you all hoping that with Asha's, whatever her name is, be trying to be respectful, but because I'm still more of a show me than tell me type of person. So what are y'all expecting or hoping happens with her being here within the next 2 years? Like, what do you expect?
You got to give her a fair shot. I think she deserves grace, like anybody coming into a new role. I mean, and I'm speaking that as a leader. When you come into a new role, people need to award you some grace and give her time to think through where she wants this vision to go. You know, some people say, well, I want to know her vision now. Well, you got to understand the product line before you give out a vision. And I think even with her being in AI, right, this is different because this is a base that's dying. Like, Xbox gaming division is dying. So now you're asking her to come in and hit the defibrillator like on BF6 and try to bring this thing back to life. You know what I mean? It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? It does not work that way, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Rick, shout out for you hitting me with the defibrillator, bro. Yeah.
You already know it.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I think we need to give her grace. Expectations, My expectations are extremely high because you've got to get this right. And I know for a fact she knows that, because you don't take on this level of role not understanding that, because this right here will tell you one or two things. Either she's going to be able to pivot and move in the next 4 years, or ain't nobody going to want her at all. Because this is the role that I think she's been wanting. Because gives her, because think about it. When they put this news release out about her name went spread far and wide. And I know just like the three of us, I went and researched her. We all did too. Yeah. So think about it. Now everybody's thinking about it. So the weight on her is very heavy. And Asha, I just want to say this. If you want to come on Dad's a Gamer, please feel free to do so. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? We would love to ask you a few questions. Yeah. Just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? Hope you see this video.
All right. Rick, what are you thinking? Next 2 years, what's your expectation?
I mean, I'm hoping for the best. You know me, I'm an Xbox head. I don't want to go towards another system. I want to stay in the Xbox lane. I'm hoping for the best, and I think that the best is going to prosper. Simple fact is, let's just say she doesn't have any gaming background, right? That's perfect for me. It's almost like somebody coming in your job, right? And they don't work somewhere else. So they're used to how they do things. Now they're trying to implement that same thing over here. Sometimes that doesn't work out right. Sometimes you need just a fresh outlook,
fresh perspective,
fresh mindset. Yep, exactly. For things to go according to plan. Me, when we hire new guys, I would rather train new guys with what we do instead of having somebody coming from a different sector trying to come in here and implement that same stuff. And it just doesn't work. It's not compatible. So I got big hopes, man.
Okay.
Just to square it off. I got big
hopes. All right. Well, we will revisit this later on this year. But for now, we'll let it be and give a little grace, as Joe say. But we're going to call it for this one. Again, this is Dad's a Gamer. If you like what you saw, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you know some dads, they got a little bit of time on their hands, share the channel with them. Please. All right, we out.
We out.